Hi, I'm Eva, and it's so good to meet you. Thank you for stopping in on my little corner of the world today. Today, we're going to be talking about all my favorite books, just so you can kind of get a feel of what I think is a 5 out of 5. Alright, so you're probably asking yourself, what qualifies me as a book reviewer? I'll gladly tell you. The answer? Nothing. Nothing qualifies me, other than the fact that I just love reading. Anybody can be a reviewer. You just have to genuinely have a passion and a love for something. Which, considering I've read 109 books this year, I would say I have a passion for this. So, to talk about my favorite books, obviously, we have to start with my favorite shelf. This is where I keep my gems, my babies, my beloved. I always tell my husband, in the case of a fire, me, you, our cat, the books. Let's go. We have a system in place to grab my favorite books. As of right now, I have 12 books that have permanent residency on my favorite list. This is my go-to. If someone's like, hey girl, give me a recommendation, oh, it's gonna be one of these 12. My 12 dancing princesses, if you will. When I say I would die for these books, I fear that's not an over-exaggeration. I would die for pretty much all my books. But that's irrelevant. Now, do I have a ton of other favorite books that we're probably going to tap into? Yes. Some honorable mentions that I need to talk about? Yes. But these are the main attraction, honey. So let's go ahead and get into it. So we're going to start at 12 and go from 1. I'm sure you can go ahead and peek over here at what 1 is. Try not to. I would do it, but regardless. So we're going to start from 12 and then make our way all the way up to first place. Cheering, please. Number 12 is Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I'm sure a lot of people already know about this, so I'm not going to talk too long about this book, and I'll showcase some others. But this book, I understand why it's a national bestseller. I do. I held off on this book for so long because I thought it was going to be one of those overhyped books because I was hearing it from everybody. Read this, read this, read this. And I was like, okay, okay. Okay, please, though. Like, I was so mistaken about this book. I definitely recommend this. Obviously, I'm going to recommend every single book that I'm talking about today because these are my favorites. But what I really love about this book is how I didn't expect it. This review on the back explains it perfectly. This is a sweet, fable like tale about a magical seat in a cafe where you can, if you wish, for just a moment, go back in time. Would you do it? I always ask myself that when I'm reading it. Would you do it? And I think I would. I think I would, and I think most people would, which is why this book is such a beloved tale because so many people know that if they were given the opportunity to sit at a little cafe tucked away in the heart of Tokyo, drinking on some bad coffee just to relive a moment, like I would. I can literally think of 3 moments I would want to go relive right now. Honestly, for people who love nostalgia and like really get in their feelings and really think about the past and all the what ifs, like this is your book. If you have not read it yet, please just go to your local bookstore. Just do it, or even your local library. Truly, it is a good book, and I would 100% recommend it to anybody. For number 11, Daughter of the Moon Goddess. She has been a permanent resident for a really long time. This was the first book where I was like, I have to stay up all night because if I don't finish this right now, I'm gonna die. And so I did. I stayed up all night. And then I waited 2 years for the next book. And now you're probably thinking, oh, where's the other book? Gone, actually. I hated the sequel. This is my problem with love triangles. In other book series, for example, the Inheritance games. Don't get me started on that. Actually, I'm gonna get too angry talking about that. I hated Heart of the Sun Warrior, or whatever the hell it was called. Main female character had changed completely. And then the romance selection, I gave up. I gave up. But book 1 is still so magical, so wonderful, so entertaining and enthralling and whimsical. Every time I look at the moon, I think about the palace. I do. I think about the palace. I think about the flowers. I think about the lights. I love this book so much, and it has such a special place in my heart. It always will have a special place in my heart, which is why it forever remains number 11 on my bookshelf. Now, number 10, Bum ba bum, a little bit more contemporary. Number 10 is Wild Eyes. Elise Silvers is going to be the death of me. Miss Girly, I need whatever tea you're drinking because how do you come out with bangers every single time? Every single time without fail. I fall in love all over again. You are the star. He is YN. And then on top of that, he's a single dad. Single dad cowboy romance where you're a famous star and he's going to pretend like he doesn't know you to be different, but oh my god, he's been a fan this whole time. This man's got game. This man's got charisma. Let me just say, the quotes in this book are hot. Okay? Their chemistry, it's not really one of those like, will they, won't they? You gotta believe in it. Like, off the bat, you're like, okay, so when are y'all fucking? Romance book with some very smutty scenes. So, number 9 actually used to sit at number 5, but throughout the years and just not getting to finish this story, it's just been pushed down a little bit. I'm sure when book 2 comes out, that shit will be right back up. But number 9 is Nectar of War. You might not have heard of this, and if you haven't, that's okay. I am a big victim of seeing one quote on TikTok and buying the book. You know those posts that are like, oh, he yada yada yada? Buy the book. Buy the book. Because I have fallen for it so many times, and don't get me wrong, some of it's not good. Some books that I buy for quotes fail me. Don't get me started on one of my least favorite. But this book became my life. I mean, like, I know girlies are all like, ACOTAR, ACOTAR. This is my ACOTAR. Oh my god, I'm so in love with this couple. I'm so in love with him. I'm so in love with the world and the. Oh, I got so excited I fucked up my microphone. I genuinely feel like I don't have the words to explain how wonderful this book is, and none of my mutuals have read it. You know what? I'm gonna give y'all a quote. Who wants a quote? Who wants a quote? Thank you, Eva. I need to convince somebody to read this. Join my delusion. Join my delusion. And I'm very well aware that I could be getting these names wrong. So if I am, please just gently correct me in the comments. But this is just how I read it in my head. So this is how I'm going to read it out to you guys now. How is it that you know Avella? I ask. Zevik smiles. She was to be my wife. Then again, our swords are crashed down into one another, both of us fighting for the intent to kill, but neither of us aiming for death, although we wish to. You are aware she will wish to stay with me, Zevik breathes. We are done here. What will you say when she tells you so? Will you deny her? Or will you demand her to do as you say so she will keep put by your side? You know, I would like to believe that she would stay with me, I admit. Yet, I will not tell her what to do nor where to sojourn. That is all her own choice. And you're probably thinking, oh, that's a lame quote. Haha, it goes on. Why? Because she will want me around, and I will come. And if it were only her bed that she called you to? He asks. If that were the reason she was to call on me, then that would mean you are not fulfilling her in ways that she knows I can. He laughs. So then what? You become High Prince Laven, the paramour? For her? I would become anything she wanted me to be. In the end, it is still me she is asking for it from. I'm sweating. I'm trying not to cry. I can't handle it up in here. Oh my lord. Anyway, if that didn't convince you to go read it, then maybe my straight delusion will, because I am helping you out. You need a 5-star book this year? Boom. You need a sexy fantasy book? Boom. You need a winged man? Boom. Boom, boom, boom. This gets 5 big booms. Book number 8. Once again, Elise Silvers. Elise Silvers has some like addiction on me. I can't explain it. I was so surprised that I loved it because I really kind of was hesitant going into it when I heard the background. I was like, okay, maybe this is like one of the books that Elise Silvers will put out that I'll be like, oh, okay, because there's one Elise Silvers book that I hate. And I'm not going to tell you it right now. If we go over all my cowboy books, I'll talk about it then. He calls her kitten, but I blocked that book out. That book don't count. This one does though. He's a Florida man, represent a WWE star, which that was kind of the part where I was like, how's this gonna go? But I ate it up. The performance, the entertainment. I was actually so in love with this book. I considered watching WWE, but then I was like, that's a lot of work. And a book series already got me into F1, and I gotta pay attention to F1 every weekend. So I'll sit out WWE for now, but if I read another good book about WWE, I can't make any promises about who I'll become. Elise Silvers truly has a way with her words, her charisma, the characters in love, like they really feel alive. That's my thing. I love characters that feel like if you were walking down the street, you would be like, "Oh my god, you're from this." Like they are so real. I could imagine them living, and that I think makes it so much better. Number 7 is Wild and Wrangled. This is so sweet and soft and young. And I like, obviously, I'm more of like an enemies to lovers, hating, forbidden love, kind of like, oh, I held a dagger to her throat, but I didn't pull. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. This is just so Cinnabon. I felt like I was getting a warm hug and I just felt so happy and blissful. And honestly, it felt like the perfect way to end this series because sometimes at the end of a book series, you'll get like a really fast, love sweeping tale and you're like, damn, girl, I want more. This was like it's second chance if that, stirs your boat anymore. I don't like second chance romance. To me, it's like if you fuck up the first time, like, okay, that's it. But some of y'all win me over, and this is one of them. Suddenly, I was like, should I text my ex? I'm joking. All my exes. So we got to talk about the blue thing. So she has this thing for artificial blue flavor. Anything artificial blue flavored, call Cam. She's right there. Oh, what's that? Not the Cookie Monster. Cam. But Dusty will always say his favorite color is blue. So his favorite color is something that reminds him of her, and that's why it's his favorite. If you don't really like Cinnabon romances, obviously, you don't have to read this, but if you are one for a soft, cozy Cinnabon romance, go check this cowboy romance out because I highly recommend it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're halfway there. Number 6, Lost and Lassoed. Yes, this is also Rebel Ranch again, Rebel Blue Ranch, one last time, but this is the best in the series. The longing that these two had for so long and the final collide between the two, it was worth my while. It was worth waiting for, and I'm so glad that I picked up this whole series cuz like I picked up Done and Dusted because the cover was cute. Love the artwork. It's so cute. Let me pick it up. And it was a little more sunshine, X sunshine for me, and I don't really like that. So I was kind of like, okay. Swift and Saddled, though, was made for me. But then when this one came out, I said, oh, no, that was made for me. Swift and Saddled was just a little taste about what I was going to get. And man, I'm not going to read no quote. So if you want to go figure out why I love this book so much, by all means, and come back and leave a comment, and I will gladly talk your ear off about this. Lila Sage, I'm praying to get that NetGalley arc of Soul Searching. I am praying. Number 5 is a little bit of a big one. Quicksilver. Oh my god, that's heavy. This is heavy. Quicksilver came as such a surprise to me. My friends were like, you need to read this. You need to read this. Have you read Quicksilver yet? You need to. And so I was finally like, okay, I need something to keep me busy. I need something to get me out of this reading slump. Okay. We will be reading a quote from this one because this is some of the best fantasy. So Quicksilver is very much insta love, insta lust, heavy lust, but it is such a good fantasy series. I do not support children reading spicy content in any capacity. So if you are under 18, please go ahead and click off this video right now for me, and maybe I'll see you some other time. Now that it's just the two of us, I'm only going to give you half the quote, okay? If I were evil and using your oath for my own purposes, I'd order you onto your knees for me, he said, cutting me off. I'd order you to part your legs for me. I'd order you to suck and fuck me until you passed out from exhaustion. Is that what you want, little Osha? Now cut the fucking cameras. Little Osha. And you're probably like, what does that mean? Little butterfly. Suddenly I have wings and I'm flying away because the butterflies in my stomach, oh my lord. Really do need book two. This was such a wonderful book and I'm so glad I picked it up. And honestly, if you've been thinking about picking it up, this is your sign, my little Osha. Number 4 is a change of genre. It's not fantasy, it's not romance, it's not a cowboy romance. It's Greek mythology, and a heartbreaking one at that. Different than what we've been talking about. Go out with the fantasy, go out with the romance, because this has none of that. This book, number 4, is one of the most heartbreaking books on my shelf, Electra. And this is not one of those Greek mythology books where you're like, oh, this is clearly a retelling. This feels so disgustingly real. Like, I feel like she somehow made a time machine, went back in time, and just wrote it down because the accuracy in this, the pain in this, oh, it's gut wrenching. It is truly gut wrenching. If you like Greek mythology, specifically Clemenstra, this is the book for you. This book is absolutely heartbreaking, heart wrenching, and gut wrenching. If you love Clemenstra and her story, like I do, she's one of my favorites. This book is genuinely for you. This is the best Clemenstra retelling I've read to this day. And it's the only one where I feel like it's incredibly accurate to what happened. It feels so real. And I think that's part of why it breaks my heart every time. You can feel the grief within the pages. And I can't say that for too many books. So we're going to talk about a heartbreaking quote. I didn't know how I could keep her safe if the enemy was already inside our walls. If you've read Electra, you know why that quote is unfortunately so heartbreaking. This book does a wonderful job at showcasing the unfortunate violence that women had to endure back in that time period. I can't get over this book. And if you also really like that song Labor by Paris, this is it in a nutshell. And every time I picture the Labor music video in my head, it's of this story. Clemenstra and Helen, like both their sacrifices that they had to go through. Like it's just, oh my gosh. Electra, 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 if only you knew. If only you knew the things your mother did for you. Starting our top 3 off, we have Circe. Miss Madeline Miller is one of, if not my favorite author. Now, I obviously have favorite authors. Like I love Anna Huang. I love Elise Silvers, Lila Sage. Like I can think of a few others, but like Madeline Miller moves me every single time. I think what really does this story justice is Madeline Miller's writing because she does such a wonderful way of pulling you in and hurting you. I had no right to claim him. I knew it. But in a solitary life, there are rare moments when another soul dips near yours, as stars once a year brush the earth. Such a constellation he was to me. 100% believe that Shakespeare reincarnated as Madeline Miller because she is making modern day tragedies. I don't care. Say what you want. It may not be poems, it may not be plays, but it is beautiful, romantic tragedies. Madeline Miller is Shakespeare. You heard it here first, folks. Number 2, The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This is like peak dark academia girly. This was the first mystery crime where I had to finish it. I read If We Were Villains in a Book Club before I read this book, and I was like, okay, that's fine. I hated the Shakespeare pacing and writing style, but I understand it was trying to be artistic and whatnot. It's different. And I can understand some people love it. Not all books are for everybody. I know that. This book is for everybody. If you like a little bit of romance, if you like a little bit of drama, if you like a little bit of that prestigious academy lifestyle or ever wanted to live it even just for a moment, read this because it'll show you how fast you can like lose yourself and how fast you can lose everything you think you know. And honestly, I got to the point where I was like, I don't know anything anymore. I don't know who's right. I don't know who's wrong. I don't know what to believe because this is one of the first books I read with a very clear, unreliable narrator. It's not like, oh, well, they're unreliable because they're biased, Patroclus. This is like, oh my god, you're a pathological liar. But some of what you're saying is true. So, what do I do? The ending of this book, if I thought Onyx Storm's ending messed me up, no, this is a whole new ballpark. I need to know. I need to know what Henry said to Camilla. And if you got any ideas, because I have a few, go ahead and talk about them down below because I need to figure out one day before I die. I swear I will know what Henry says to Camilla. I'll track Donna Tartt down. I'll say, Miss Donna, what did he say? She's got to know. She didn't just write that little tidbit and not know. It's somewhere. It's in a little notebook somewhere, in a little sticky pad somewhere. I will find it. My life's purpose is to find out what he said to her before. If you think you know, we will conspiracize and talk about it because it needs to be brought up. It needs to be discovered. And in first place, my favorite book of all time is Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Now, a lot of people don't like this book, and I understand because Achilles was a person who ruined thousands of lives, but unfortunately, back in the time, pretty much everyone fucking sucked. So, keeping that in mind, that these people realistically were probably awful people, this book gut wrenchingly breaks me every time. I do a yearly reread of this. Without fail, I read this once a year. I read it in January to break my heart all over again. Obviously, we all know that this book is very quotable. You know, he is half of my soul, as the poets say. I could recognize him blind by touch alone. Like, there's so many heartbreakingly good quotes. This one, and you're probably like, oh, why? Why this one? Maybe because I've read this book 4 fucking times. I've read this book 4 times, front to back, crying every single time. So I feel like I know the characters on a deeper level. Oh, so stupid to say, but I really do. Like, I feel like I've watched these characters grow up. Every time I find something new in this book, something new, something still as heartbreaking. And this quote really does it for me. So Briseis says to Achilles, I hope that Hector kills you. And Achilles just breathes really slowly. Do you think I do not hope the same? Ooh, buddy, you're down. You're cooked. You're fried. Double deep fried in a double biscuit batter. Like, you are gone, homie. Like, it's over. It's a wrap. It's just so crazy to me that their love, their romance, his ego all revolved around if Troy would fall or not. Like, after reading so many books, so many that focus on the Trojan War and whatnot, had Achilles not lost Patroclus, had Patroclus not been killed by Hector, Achilles had not killed Hector in revenge, Troy would not have fallen. Is the other half of my soul, as the poets say. Now, I do have some honorable mentions just so you can get a little bit of a bigger feel, just to kind of show you my variety. Don't talk to me about this book. If you bring this book up in the streets, run fast because I'm coming. This book breaks me in a way nothing else can. It's not my favorite because it ruins me. I can't put it on my favorite shelf because it hurts so bad. I have to like block it out. I don't know if you know this. I'm a Star Wars girly. Cue montage of me at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, me being obsessed with Star Wars. Go. I actually have so much more proof than that, but I'm just gonna keep it short and simple. Anakin Skywalker and Padme Amidala are my endgame. I know they're toxic. I know there's problems. But god damn it if it doesn't ruin me every time. And it's not even just about the heartbreak between the lovers, right? Because obviously we know Padme and Anakin are tragic. But so are Anakin and Obi-Wan. Think this book hits for me on a even deeper level because every time I watch Revenge of the Sith, every time I read this stupid book, I'm like begging him. I am begging him to seek help. I'm begging something to change and it doesn't. And obviously that's the beauty of it. That's why everyone loves this book because you can't change it. It happened in a galaxy so far, far away, so long ago that it's already happened. But god damn it, I want to change it. If I got one wish in life, it would be that Anakin did not turn to the dark side. There, I said it. My make a wish. Anakin didn't turn to the dark side. That's it. He and Padme went off to the lake country, had their little family. He left the Jedi. Obi-Wan continued to work for the Jedi and became the best uncle the world's ever seen. That's my ending. Back on the subject of a girly we've been talking about a lot this video. Elise Silvers. I could not do a favorites video without talking about this. This is by far my all-time favorite cowboy book. It's a little slutty peek. I can't explain what Elise Silvers put in this book, but everyone who I've ever seen like review cowboy books, sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, this book that I loved rated low. Oh, I didn't like that book that you liked." But every single time this book comes out with a 5 out of 5. I have never met a single person, and you can correct me in the comments, but I have never met a single person who does not like this book, who does not think this is a 5 out of 5. Dare I say, Elise Silver's best book ever. Her best work. I think she knows that too, because she be talking about him the most on her Instagram. I love this book, and if you love cowboy books or just want to kind of understand the Elise Silvers hype, obviously start with Flawless in the Chestnut series, but hold out for Heartless. If you don't like Heartless, go get yourself checked out. Go to the doctor. Heartless, without fail, always for me is a 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5. Heartless is that girl. She is that bitch. She will rank top tier every single time. Now, I have a lot of classics that I just absolutely adore, some that I absolutely hate, but one that I will say is one of my top favorites. I read The Picture of Dorian Gray pretty much right off the bat, and I was picking up some fruit. All right, my fruit basket was full. I was like, are y'all picking up on this? Like, we're talking very in depth about these men, and I kind of loved that. And I actually, in this copy, because this is the book I have the most copies of, I'm ashamed I have this many. So in this copy, I wrote down all the things that were kind of fruity to me. And then I got a cloth bound version that I will not touch at all, so that it stays safe, untouched, pure goodness gold. She'll go up in value. It's called stocks, right? Investments. This book, when I saw this on the shelf, I almost screamed in Barnes and Noble. And I saw this book, I almost wept for joy because I felt so validated in this moment. I was like, oh, I wasn't the only one. Okay. So turns out he's a gay author who was censored back in the 1900s. Who would have guessed that? Put your fucking hand down. Now, I will say the uncensored version versus the other version is really no different. It's just a lot more adjectives and a lot more compliments to the other men around him. Like, it's just very like, oh yeah, he's fruity. He's gay. Eat it up, king. Eat it up. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, king. They're really plot wise is no different. It's just this one's gay, the other one ain't. Unless you can read in between the lines, like I could. Now, I've been talking a lot about how I love Anna Huang, but you haven't seen a single one of her books from me. She's got an entire shelf over there. I don't want to hear it. I have read every single book she's put out. I love her. Yes, I've even read the If We Meet series. We don't talk about that though, okay? Twisted Games? A lot of people hate on Twisted Love. Listen, I don't understand the hate, but I can also understand it un poquito, just a little bit, because some scenes were a little bit cringy. It's kind of a Wattpad book, but sometimes Wattpad books are amazing. I have Wattpad books. Go read my Wattpad books. I don't mind reading Wattpad style books. Maybe that's why I love Anna Huang. Anna Huang is my guilty pleasure. Anna Huang is my cup of tea. Twisted series, obviously, I think Twisted Lies is the best, the last one, the green one. Overall, this couple is my ride or die. Maybe I just have a thing for guys named Reese. I don't know. Reese. They just be following me like that. Gazebo scene. Quiet ain't no back talk. There's so many scenes in this book that are just so fantastic, so smutty, so romantic. I actually want to see like a spin-off with the Twisted kids. Someone was talking about it on Reddit and I want it so badly. But that's not my all-time favorite Anna Huang book. King of Wrath. Oh my god. Maybe you don't know about the King of Sin series, but like maybe you're sleeping under a rock and that's okay, honey. I'm here to shine light under that rock. This is Mama's gold. What do you want me to do? Crawl to you, Vivian? Little slutty of a man, Dante over here. Like, I love me a possessive, morally gray, obsessed kind of man, and this is it. This is it. I don't think I've ever met an Anna Huang man who is so obsessed with his girl. And it started out as an arranged marriage. He fell, and he fell harder. If I'm being honest, I have like my own little library in my house, but it's not enough. I want more. How could I forget you? Like I said in my TikTok video, if you don't follow me on TikTok, go ahead. It's at my same handle. I post way more over there. This Woven Kingdom is by far my favorite fantasy I've read this year. I have not finished 2 and 3. I know 4 and 5 are coming, but I have not finished 2 and 3. But I can tell you by this book alone, this is an amazing series because I've read This Woven Kingdom 3 times. Have I finished the series? No. But I've read this book 3 times, back to back to back. Like 3 days where I just read this over and over and over. I couldn't get enough. I'm literally so scared to start the rest of the series though, but I'm going to. I swear, I promise. I cannot get enough of this. I cannot get enough of this book. With all that being said though, thank you for letting me talk about my favorite books. And if you saw one of your favorites on here, go ahead and talk below. Or if you feel like my favorite shelf should be in a different order, go ahead and tell me what you would put it in. Anyway, thank you so much for chatting with me today, and go ahead and subscribe below, and I'll see you next time.